As a white woman in America, I really don't face much discrimination, except for some sexism here and there for being a woman. Discrimination is best described as the unjust treatment of a person based off of their sex, their religion, their ethnicity, or their race, and other categories that just make up this person. Discrimination has always been present. You can see it and you can hear it everywhere you go, every day. Discrimination is a learned behavior. It is something that's taught. People aren't born with the natural instinct to hate someone based off of something so simple such as the color of their skin. Today, I'm going to be informing y'all on the discrimination of Muslims. There are two main reasons why Muslims are discriminated against. It's because they are misunderstood and because of the events that happened on September 11th, 2001. A Muslim is someone who practices Islam. There are many misconceptions surrounding this religion and its way of life. According to an article on human rights and human welfare of American Muslim minority, a poll showed that 45% of Americans believed that Islam was more likely to encourage its believers to perform acts of violence. 36% of Americans couldn't even recall basic facts of Islam religion. That 45% of Americans that believe that most likely formed their opinions based off of stereotypes of Muslims found in American pop culture. The media usually portrays Muslims as a terrorist man who wears a throbe and an oppressed woman who wears a hijab. And also very stereotypical Muslim is someone who is a rapic, when in reality, only 20% of the Muslims are from Arab. Also, the way Muslims dress is slowly based off of their cultural background. It is not a blanket practice of their religion for men to wear throbes and women to wear hijabs. Also, in the Quran, which is a sacred text of the Islam religion, women are actually shown equal to men, and this oppression of women is just a stereotype and a misconception of the Quran. On September 11th, 2001, the World Trade Centers were attacked by hijacked planes. This was a tragic event that affected all of America, and it especially affected the Muslims of America. The government cracked down on immigration policies and national security. The government increased surveillance of Muslims, froze assets to Muslim charities, started racial profiling Muslims in the streets and at airports, and the government also raided religious organizations that were held by the Muslims. This resulted in mistreatment, violation of rights, and it also encouraged even more stereotyping against Muslims. Not only was the government discriminating against Muslims, but the American people were as well. The FBI reported that there was a 1,600% increase of hate crimes against Muslims after 9/11. In 2003, the Detroit American Arab Survey was conducted to assess the abuse and discrimination of Arab Americans, adults, after 9/11. It also showed the association between abuse that they experienced and the psychological distress, level of happiness, and health status that occurred from it. A face-to-face survey was conducted where the respondents were asked various of questions, and the results showed that 25% of the participants reported that they personally experienced abuse or someone in their household experienced abuse after 9/11. 15% of participants reported that they experienced discrimination because of their ethnicity. The survey showed that in result to this abuse, high levels of psychological distress were a result, as well as lower levels of happiness and worsening health statuses. The survey also showed that 90 to 97% of Arab Americans' personal safety, and security were jeopardized after 9/11. Having this constant fear led to 48.5% of them to gain anxiety. When most people are in fear, they go to a safe place. But Muslims couldn't do that. Their safe places were their home, their place of worship, and their workplace, and all of these were being attacked. In 2010, 60% of Muslim workers reported that they were called names by their co-workers, such as terrorist and Osama. Some even reported that they lost their jobs due to their ethnicity. In conclusion, Muslims are discriminated against based off of stereotypes formed by the media and others not wanting to learn the real facts of the Islam religion. American citizens blame 9/11 on Muslims as a whole, leading to the government, American citizens, and employers discriminate Muslims and to treat them unjustly. This also violated their rights. The discrimination Muslims experience have led them to constant fear, psychological distress, anxiety, lower levels of happiness, and worsening health statuses.